Good to see you guys.
I wore my ISC gear. I'm a fan first and an analyst second, man.
I love it. I love it. Fight on.
Fight on is right.
Fight on.
So I know you're focused on the season now. I kind of want to ask you about the off season because of the transfer portal and all that stuff. Is there an off season? Is there a time where there's just like I can kick back and relax?
You know, it's changed a lot through the years. I would say the previous few years there hasn't been much of one. As all the different things that we've undertaken, building this program amid all the changes in college football right now. I would say, a lot's been made of our personnel staff. Chad Bowden, the GM we hired, and along with Chad, really revamped and upgraded an entire department. And I think, that group has done a great job, not only in their role, but I think that's alleviated some pressure in other areas to where people can zero in on what they got to do to help make our program better. But also, we're all human beings too, right? Yeah. And every human being needs a chance to get away and unplug and be around family and come back refreshed and recharged. And I feel like we're probably in all the years at SC now, I think from that standpoint, our staff is in as good a place coming into this fall camp as we've ever been.
I was going to say, on a scale of 1 to 10, the stereotype of most football coaches is they are incapable of unplugging from this stuff. On a scale of 1 to 10, how good of an unplugger are you?
I'm trying to get better. I probably go in phases. There's times where I could do better and I need to. It's been admittedly tough here because you just want to have your hands on everything, especially in the beginning as you're molding and changing so many things. But it's been something both for myself and then trying to make it good for our staff to be able to do it. And it's different here, right? Like we don't all live 5 minutes down the street, you know? And so you have to, like a lot of people here that work in the Los Angeles area, you got to adapt to the place you're in. So we've tried to adapt to find that perfect, balance where we're getting everything we need to get done, but people are getting time with their families. They're getting recharged so they come back to office hungry, energized, ready to go.
Your starting quarterback is Jayden Maiava, who transferred over from UNLV last year, got his feet wet as a starter. What do you see about him that is special?
Well, I just think you got to look at the 4 games, initially that the guy played last year under a unique circumstance. You come in and you got 4 really good defenses that you're getting ready to play. We go 3-1, and really gave us a phenomenal opportunity to beat Notre Dame. I mean, I thought he probably played as a quarterback the best against Notre Dame that anybody I watched last year. And that was without – he knew what he was doing, but it wasn't his yet.
Yeah.
It's this system, it historically takes some time. But once guys get it, their confidence level takes off. Mistakes start to decrease. They start to play at a higher level. So for him to be able to play the way he did against some of those opponents in that situation, knowing that he's going to get a lot better, and right now today he's a way different player than he was at any time last year.
What do you get better at?
I think his overall command of the offense. I think decision making. He plays incredibly decisive, but he had a couple of decisions in a few of those games that obviously that. When you're really playing a high level, you avoid those.
Right.
His great plays were off the charts good. His arm talent, all that is off the charts. And I think also, too, just the intangible part, the leadership, his energy and kind of his just kind of how he carries himself around the guys. You could tell he knows he's one of the alphas on the team. He knows this is his. The guys are responding to that, and I think he's just playing and acting just in a more confident way right now.
You've had the fortune of working with some amazing quarterbacks like Kyler Murray, Baker Mayfield, Caleb Williams down the line. Do you think it can ever be tough for Jayden, just with fans and media expecting it's Lincoln Riley, it's a quarterback, he should be awesome, that type of narrative or pressure?
Well, and add in USC.
Yeah, right.
You talk about last 2 schools I've worked at both probably have the 2 greatest quarterback traditions of any colleges ever. And so, the expectations when you're a quarterback and the starting quarterback at USC just add to that. And so, I think the great ones, when Kyler was going through it, he wasn't thinking about Baker. When Jalen Hurts was going through it, he wasn't thinking about those guys. It's just, what can I do in the moment? What can I learn from what they did? Because the awesome thing is there's like so many great examples for these guys to draw back on how they did this or how they did that. But you got to be your own guy at the end of the day. And I think Jayden, I just think he's more settled in all parts of it, and probably even in that, like comfortable in his own skin, comfortable being the starting quarterback at USC, like knows who he is, knows who he is as a player, knows the offense. Like everything about him is just like more stable right now, which that's typically when guys start to play really good, you feel that from them.
USC head coach Lincoln Riley is with us. Mason and Ireland, 710 ESPN. Andy is in for John today. So, and this is just college football today, you're returning about 60% of last year's roster. How do you build that chemistry quickly and find that continuity as early in the season as you can?
Well, I think that's been all of our challenge here in the last several years. And I think, big picture for us, that's one of the reasons why we're getting away from relying so much on the portal and we are going to be one of the best high school talent developing programs in the country. And some of that is relative to where we're at. We're in the greatest place to recruit in the country. Some of it is, I think, the coaching staff we've been able to put together here. I mean, we got some of the guys that are at the just top of their sport. Mm-hmm. I think as we do that, our roster is going to solidify. We're going to be replacing a little bit less than maybe some of the teams out there that are going to rely on that portal just as much. And so with that, though, I mean, you got to make sure you're really screening everybody that you bring in, not only for their talent, but do they fit what you want in the locker room? Do they fit your university? Do they fit the things that you expect out of your football program, and really hold yourself accountable to that? And that could be, we've all been in that position where you got this D lineman, man, he's unbelievable, and he's this and that, but then there's some red flags about, all right, is he going to fit in here? Does he really fit, our core values? And you got to stay true to that. And then I think as some of these young guys, I look at some of our guys now, they're really becoming leaders on this team, like Devin Tompkins and like Tobias Raymond. And I'm looking at like guys that we brought in the beginning. They've developed, they've seen our culture throughout. And so now you got guys that are kind of long-standing in what we do. So when new ones come in, they're going to help acclimate them and make sure these guys are doing things the way that the USC Trojans should do them.
We were just talking about the returning players from last year. There's obviously, though, some new guys. Can you give a name or two for the fans that they may not be familiar with some of these players just because either they didn't play a lot last year or they're transfer guys that you think could end up popping this season?
Well, I mean, a couple of the first names that pop into mind, there's a lot. It's these questions it's always tough to narrow, which is a good thing, right? I think some of the young linebackers I'm really excited to see. Desmond Stevens, flashed some in play last year. Jaden Walker is back healthy and has been very, very impressive. Excited to see some of the young guys, Matai and AJ and a couple of the guys that we brought in the high school class. So I think the young linebackers come to mind. And I would also say the running back room. Going to be some new faces in there. Brian Jackson is the one returner, and he did a really nice job for us in the bowl game. We're excited about him. But then you bring in Wayman Jordan. Yeah. You bring in Eli Sanders, two guys that are, proven at this level that can both really play. We're really excited about King Miller in there. And then also Harry Dalton's a freshman we signed. That room, those two rooms have been fun to watch. And then ironically, I mean, they compete a lot against one another. So just watching those two groups go at it in practice has been pretty fun up to this point.
So we're L.A., 710 ESPN covers L.A., home of the Trojans. There is also this big national narrative that goes on, USC this and preseason coaches, all that kind of stuff. How do you deal with the national narrative, or do you?
I think that's probably one of the benefits I have of, I've only ever been a head coach in blue blood programs where the expectations are always, through the roof. And so I guess that's just kind of all I know. At the end of the day, right now that's something for everybody to talk about while there's not football games. And then there's going to be football games and nobody's going to talk about that. And so I'm very confident in this football team. My excitement level and the improvements that we've made from personnel, coaching, the way the roster has continued to upgrade, and also taking a snapshot to some of the really good things that this football team did a year ago and how agonizingly close this group
God,
was
it
to
was
winning a
so
whole lot of
hard.
football games. And I'm sitting here watching it like I just see very few position groups where I don't expect us to be, quite a bit better.
Yeah.
And so I think your excitement is you know the progress, and both myself and our staff, like, we're not perfect, but we've seen what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we've been a part of going where we want to go here. And you're just starting to see those signs all over the program right now. So it's just, what's coming, and you're just eager to get there.
Speaking of the national narrative, things that get talked about during the offseason, you've been pretty open about the idea of, I want us to play Notre Dame, but I also understand how getting into the championship dance works, the way they often just look at your record and just wins and losses, that's it. So there's a balance. Do you think the committees will ever reach a place where they take into account the context of your season, or like the context of losses? Because I'm going to be honest, I think it should matter a lot.
No question it should. It's just at the end of the day, are you going to have a human that's just going to sit there and is going to put in a 9-3 team over an 11-1 team? Like, it's just.
What if the 11-1 team didn't play anybody particularly impressive? They should.
But recent history says that's not going to do it, because we can go through all these factors, strength of schedule and points allowed and all this. But at the end of the day, the number one thing that everybody sees is record. And as a human, you can always fall back on, well, this team won 11 and this team won 9. So and it's an impossible position to put these people in, and that's why we've all been such an advocate to get more just automatic qualifying spots. Let these conferences decide it however the hell they want to decide it, and then be one of the best teams in your conference, and then you go represent your conference in the playoff. And then it does preserve. It doesn't put us, in a tough position like we are right now. I mean, we don't want to be in this position trying to figure out, the Notre Dame thing either. Shoot, Jen and I again, part of the reason we both came here, I said at media day, was to play in games like that and to coach in games like that. Like, this is our life. Like, we love this more as much as all the fans love it. We actually love it more. Like, we really do. And so, but it's a unique position to be in, because you feel a loyalty to the history and to all of that, and you also feel a loyalty to USC and doing the best thing we can to help us win national championships. So hopefully that's a position that we don't get put in.
Let me finish up with some dumb stuff, because this is sort of my area of expertise. So we were just talking about coffee. Do you go coffee or energy drink?
No coffee, yeah. Just try to do like a healthy-ish energy drink. I've never been a coffee guy.
Fast food go-to?
If I'm in California, In-N-Out.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's the right answer. And if they're making a movie of your life, would you rather have Matthew McConaughey or Ryan Gosling play you?
I got to go with my guy McConaughey.
There you go.
Yeah, tough to beat.
All right.
Awesome.
All right.
All right. Hey, it's awesome seeing you. Looking forward to a great season, Coach.
Thank you, guys,
Thank
man.
you very
Thanks
much
for
for
being
coming
here.
by.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime. Fight on.
Coach
Fight
Lincoln
on.
Riley, fight on.
Fight on.
Yeah.